Hey friends, don't mind. I just wiped off my lip and I was like, Misty. So I'm adding in maybe a trigger warning, but also that if you have little ears around, I do cuss a couple of times in this video. When I get frustrated, I can't. It's like I don't even think about it. It just comes out my mouth. So trigger warning because I talk about my mental health, but also headphones if you're at work or around other people. I say the F word a couple of times. So anyway, yeah, sorry. Hi there, everyone. It's Misty here. Thank you so much for joining me. Hi. Okay, so I've gone back and forth on whether or not I wanted to film a video for this channel, just kind of telling you what's going on, or if I was just going to make a community post. And I decided after several of you reached out that I'd go ahead and film a quick video. So if you're not interested to know why I've been gone or what's been going on with me, you can skip this video. That's really what this is going to be about. So I haven't posted in a couple of weeks. This is literally the second time I've worn makeup in the past probably month, I think. And the only reason why I put on makeup today is because I had to film intros for videos that needed to go up on other channels. So yeah, including mine, but including others as well. I have been struggling physically. You guys know I've been struggling physically. I'm still struggling physically. I still haven't had those gosh darn MRIs. I don't know what is going on with Baylor, but they have approved the first two, the cervical and the thoracic, which is like around your rib cage. But for some reason, they're either not flipping the page or they're not looking far enough down to see that they've submitted orders for a lumbar one, and they haven't submitted that to the insurance to get it approved. So I'm still waiting. I'm kind of glad. So I had a doctor's appointment on the 20th. And I literally got a call in the middle of that appointment, and my appointment was the next day, and she's like, they haven't approved your lumbar. And I was like, what? So I was like, that doesn't make any sense, because it's like it said, 6 weeks of physical therapy or like home care or whatever. So I called the insurance. We're like, we haven't gotten a second lumbar submitted. She's like, we've only gotten the first one. And I was like, what? So I reached out to my pain management doctor, and she's like, I sent it. And she gave me two different records where she sent it. So I called Baylor to schedule again, and they're like, no, we don't have it. We don't see that. I don't know what's going on. So I wrote back and I was like, listen, I'm doing the best I can on this side of things, but could you please help me out or give me some guidance on what I need to do to get this approved? Because, sorry, red lipstick. We're getting close to the end of the year, the fiscal insurance year, but also the end of the year, and I'm ready for them to be done. I need a nerve ablation. I can't get that done until these are done. Not a nerve ablation, a nerve block, like a steroid block. So that was that. So that appointment on Thursday was with UT Southwestern, and I had asked the neurologist that I spoke to, I don't know, March, April, if he would refer me to an endocrinologist. So this is someone that works, he's like internal medicine, but he subspecializes in like metabolic diseases. And I was like, okay. I mean, PCOS, type 2 diabetes, etc., those are kind of technically metabolic syndromes because it's called metabolic syndrome X or whatever. It's like, okay, cool. So 6 months, this appointment's been on the books for 6 months. And you guys, if you watched my Get Ready With Me when I said I might disappear for a while, you heard all of the horror stories that I shared about doctors. This was literally the worst appointment I have ever had in my life. Like, ever had in my life. So he wanted a backstory, and I get that, I do. He acted like he didn't have any records, but he had access to everything I'd ever done at UT Southwestern, plus access to other things as well, because he saw that I'd been in the hospital, so he had access to all of this shit, right? So he wanted to know starting at a young age, and so we started when I started to get big, and I shared with that, but he literally wanted a weight for every fucking year I'd been alive. And I was just like, I don't know. I know certain eras, but I can't tell you what I weighed every fucking year of my life. I didn't say that to him, but I was thinking that in my head. And that's literally all he could talk about was, well, what did you weigh? Well, what is your weight? Well, what is your weight? And I'm just like, Rob and I kind of looked at each other because he goes with me because I have white coat syndrome now. And I was just like, what the hell? So then he's like, okay, I'm going to bring the nurse in so you can get naked and I can look over you. And I was like, what? Like, I was not expecting that whatsoever. So she comes in and Rob helps me get undressed and I put on a gown. I sit on the chair. He comes in. He's like flipping things around. If you got some tummy rolls, you know what I'm talking about. So he's flipping my boobs around, flipping, rolls around. And then he sits down and he's like, I really think you need to get in the water. He's like, you should be doing, get in the water every day of the week and do at least an hour every day of like aquatic aerobics or whatever. And I just looked at him. I said, I literally just told you what happened when I was in the water for physical therapy. I said, we literally just had that conversation. I know. I said, I told you I don't have the strength in my limbs to be able to do something like that. He's like, well, it's something we can work up to. And then he stopped talking to me and started talking to Rob about how I need to be watching what I ate and blah, blah, blah. As if Rob is the boss of me. As if Rob has any say in what I put in my body. And he goes on and on. And again, it's all about me losing weight. Blah, 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 blah. And then at the very fucking end of the conversation, he's like, I'm not really sure why you're here. I don't treat people like you. I'm sorry, what? I don't know why you're here. I don't know why they sent you here. I don't treat people like you. I only treat people with high cholesterol. Sir. You have access to all of the blood work that I've ever had done at this center. You have access to the CBC that was done in the hospital when I was in the hospital for this abscess. You got me naked. Why the fuck did you get me naked if you weren't going to treat me? What was that all about? I was mad, you guys. I'm still mad. That was on the 20th. We're at this, I'm filming this on the 7th. I am still so flippin' angry. It was humiliating. I'm sitting there naked on the bed while he's telling me that he doesn't treat people like me. You knew that information going into the appointment. And if you didn't know that information, that's on you. You had access to everything. So not only was that appointment awful, I don't know why the hell the neurologist referred me over to him in the first place. I asked for an endocrinologist. Oh, I was so mad. And like I said, Rob and I just looked at each other. He was like, this was a waste of time. I was like, this was a fucking waste of time. I was like, this is dumb. And I said right then, I was like, I'm done with UT Southwestern. So if you're in the Dallas area and you... I know that it's really, really hard around here, especially that people, doctors are like, okay, we can't figure it out. I'm going to send you to UT Southwestern. But this year I've had the absolute worst time with doctors there. And I told Rob, I was like, if my neurosurgeon wasn't there, I probably wouldn't go back. But my neurosurgeon is there. And number two, I did have really good care the 3 times I was in the hospital there. So the first time is when I initially had issues with my leg. My right leg went numb. I couldn't feel it, couldn't walk, etc. Saw a neurosurgeon locally. He said, you need to go to UT Southwestern. The second time I was in the hospital, when I had back surgery. The third time I was in the hospital is when my incision wouldn't close and they admitted me then. So the care I've had there has been phenomenal. These other fucking doctors, no. So I haven't yet, but I will be filing a formal complaint about that doctor. I will be filing just all of my thoughts about all of the doctors that I've seen, starting with the neurologist last December, because I'm still mad about that, and that's been almost a year. So I had to call my regular doctor and ask them to refer me to an endocrinologist. Mine left. Like, I didn't like her anyway, but she left and is no longer in network. So I'm like, I don't want to mess with that office, number one, because it's a hike. Number two, it's like I didn't like how I was treated at that office, because it's a big office, and they basically treat you like cattle, really, kind of. And so I called them and I was like, can you just refer me to someone locally? So I'm waiting for that call back. Luckily, I have enough supplies, like my medication and my testing supplies, to get me through to like mid-March. So technically, since it's at the end of the year, a lot of people are, making appointments 6, 8, 9 weeks out. So if I have to wait until next year, then everything will be cool. So I have been on the struggle bus, like really, really, really dealing with depression and anxiety. And you know how depression, well, if you've never had depression, okay, let's go back. If you've had depression, you know how depression makes you feel. It makes you feel like you're worthless. It makes you feel like you're unimportant. It makes you feel like nobody loves you, nobody cares. It's just awful. And I already deal with kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Once all of this started, like back in 2017, when all of this started and I couldn't go do my job and I had to leave my job, I felt beyond worthless, because you don't realize until it's taken away how much of your identity is wrapped up in blank. So for me, it was my career. It was my job. I knew from a young age I wanted to get the hell out of my hometown, and the only way to do that would be to get an education. So I'm highly educated. I went all the way up and got a master's degree. I've been working, and to have that taken away, I really struggled with that. And then on top of that, like, I'm the cook in the family. When Rob and I started dating, he's like, hey, I'll make you a deal. And I was like, okay, good. He's like, if you'll cook, I'll do the rest. And he does. He does the cleaning. He does the dishes. He does the laundry. He does the yard. Like, a part of it is because he's very particular. But also a part of it is, like, he can't cook, and I'm the cook, and he's going to do the rest. And I couldn't even do that. Like, there were days I would call him crying and be like, I can't, I don't know what, like, it was awful. I'd never felt more worthless in my life. And so I already deal with kind of that, what is the word I'm looking for? I can't remember, but like, I already deal with that. Like, I already have those feelings without being depressed. But when you put depression on top of it, along with my personality trait, along with my zodiac trait, I don't like to be a burden. I don't like to feel worthless. I don't want to be a burden. Like, those are the two, like, things that really, really bother me. And when you're depressed, I feel like that just magnifies things. And I was really, really struggling. I'm still struggling. I am feeling a little bit better. I do feel like I'm coming out of it. I do have a ton of anxiety about the future. I told Rob, sorry, I need to put some lotion on it. I told Rob that I was done. I was like, once I get these MRIs, I was like, I'm done for this year. I was like, I don't want to see a doctor. I don't want to talk to a doctor. I don't want to think about going to the doctor, because this has been the worst year of my life. Like, I thought 2017 was the worst year of my life. This has been the worst year of my life. And I hate that. And I don't know, like, I'm looking forward to 2023 in the worst way. I reached out to a friend of mine who does tarot. Some of you probably don't believe in that. I do. And I was like, because a lot of readers or intuitives won't do a health reading. And I didn't want a specific health reading. Like, I didn't want her to say when I was going to live or die, but I needed some guidance on what my next steps were going to be, because I feel like I've exhausted everything on my end. Like, I've gone and done everything that I can do. And that's another thing. I am so tired of having to advocate for, like, I am exhausted. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. Trying to get a diagnosis, trying to find doctors that will listen to you, trying to find doctors who will, forget, like, being fat doesn't cause a whole bunch of things. I don't have high cholesterol. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have cardiac disorder. Like, I don't have heart disease or heart issues. Yes, I'm fat. I have type 2 diabetes, and I'm dealing with these other mystery symptoms, but not everything that's wrong with me is caused by me being fat. My back disorder, genetic. So even if I was 105 pounds, I would still have this back disorder, and I would probably still be having the issues that I have today. So it's irritating to just not be heard. That's a lot of it. It's just to feel like I'm not being heard, and I'm not being trusted to know what is going on with my body. So I saw my rheumatologist on Thursday, explained to her what happened at the appointment, and she was like, we've got to figure something out. I said, I have all of these muscular symptoms that point to myositis, and I was like, I don't know how I'm not getting that, just like, I don't know how that's not the thing. So, but I told her, I was like, I'm tired. I said, I'm really, really tired. And so I told her, I was like, she's like, is this helping? I said, yes. Because I was having pain in, like, my shoulder area, my shoulder joints and stuff. And she's like, when did that start? I was like, about a week ago. I said, I know when I'm due for a top off. That's what I call it. It's like, I'm going to go get topped off with my, my immune suppression therapy. And I said, it takes, if she does a steroid, it's immediate. If she doesn't do a steroid, which she didn't do this time, it takes about 3 or 4 days. It relieves most of my joint pain. It doesn't do anything for my back pain because my back pain is mostly nerve pain. So yeah, it's just, I told her, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. But bless her heart, the receptionist, I told her, because she normally just makes the appointments and then tells me. I said, if you can give me the earliest you can get me in. And she's like, I made you an appointment for December 28th. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. Because I have to pay $600 out of pocket, number one. And number two, that medication, just the medication is $16,000. Just the medication is $16,000. And that's why last January, by the 15th, I'd met my out-of-pocket deductible. I'd met my out-of-pocket max, which is $3,000, because the IVIG I was doing was like, I don't know, $20,000 just for the medicine. This one is like $15,000 just for the medicine. So that's, by the 15th of January, my insurance had already been billed $35,000 just for medication. And then the Wegovy I'm on, that's $1,800. So yeah, it's expensive. And thank God we have insurance, and knock on wood that we can keep it. Anyway, all the things. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But that works. That makes me feel better. I'm so grateful that she got it in, so I didn't have to do it at the end of January and pay all that money up front. So anyway, the long and short of it is I haven't been wearing makeup. Number one, because I physically just haven't felt like it. Number two, because I emotionally just like, makeup has always been, I should take that back. Card making and makeup has always been kind of a release for me. Like I love making cards. I love Christmas. I love decorating for Christmas. Like I love all those things. And normally this time of year isn't quite this bad. But when you add on all of the other things that are going on in my life, I'm just done. I'm physically done. I'm emotionally done. I'm mentally done. I have severe anxiety. That's all ramped back up. I was on anxiety medicine in 2016 and 2017, and I stopped it. And I went to my doctor. I was like, I need a Valium or something. He's like, you wanted off anxiety medicine. I was like, I don't need long-term anxiety medicine. I said, I just need something that will help me in a situation. So, but I haven't used that in forever either. So I may need to get back on that, but I honestly don't want to. I really, really don't want to. So yeah, so I haven't been wearing makeup. Like I don't want makeup to feel like a chore. I don't want card making to feel like a chore. It's getting there, but I'm doing I sat down yesterday and filled out the content for the rest of the year for my Jill F. Elf channel, so I can get all of those cards made, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Get them edited, scheduled, and uploaded, and I can just take the whole month of December off. So even though it's probably going to kill my channel, I think I'm taking off until the end of the year. Now, I haven't quite decided, because if I start to feel better, then I'll definitely want to come back to this makeup table and put makeup on again. It was really cathartic. Is that the right word today? Like I just was listening to my horoscope online, and I was, just putting on makeup. Sometimes I'll have music going, etc. And it was just nice. It was nice to sit here and do that. But I just don't have it in me to do this enough to get use out of my makeup, and number two, to feel like I have enough to film. So that's kind of where my head is. With that being said, I do have a project starting this month. It's at the Hop. It's Fantastic Ladies Collab, and it starts, I think, on the 27th. And then That's Expensive starts back up again next month. And I want to make sure that I have the videos for that. And when I get the video ready for the At the Hop, I'll try to film like how I get ready for a project, etc. So I'm going to try to do all of that. I need to work on my inventory. I really need to work on my skincare inventory so I can decide if I need to make a purchase on Black Friday or if I can skip it. So there are things that I want to get done. I need to figure out my October empties. I have no idea where I am in regards to the PNR Way to 5K. I finished up a couple of concealers today, so that was nice. But yeah, it's been really, really awful. It's been awful, and I hate feeling this way. I hate feeling like I'm not in control of anything. I hate feeling like I'm not heard. I hate feeling worthless. I hate all of it. And I'm a turtle. Like I told someone, who reached out. Thank you to Lucy and Grace who reached out. I appreciate it. I'm like a turtle. So when everything around me is going, like if I'm going through something, again, I don't want to feel like a burden. I don't want to feel worthless. So I don't almost always never share that with anybody, including Rob. I'm just like a turtle. I just get in my shell or dig a hole and just try to let things go away. I'm trying to be maybe I'm an ostrich in the sand. Like, I don't want to hear about anything on the news. I don't want to hear anything about the election. Like, I can't handle that kind of stress right now. I have had to set boundaries with like my brother. He'll be like, can I call? And I'm like, is what you need to talk about, is that going to cause me anxiety or make me mad or something? And he'll say yes or no. And if it's yes, I'm like, I can't talk about that today, but we can talk about it tomorrow. So like, I'm trying to do the best I can to make sure that I am setting myself up for success. I have been thinking of a word of the year. So if you don't, I think it's called One Little Word, and I believe it was started by Allie Edwards. But basically, instead of setting, intentions or whatever resolutions for the new year, you pick a word that's going to be your focus for that year. And this will be like the 7th or 8th year that I've done it. And so I have an idea in mind. And when I was looking up the definition of it, I found a place where I live that is doing a different kind of therapy than I've had before. And you guys know I said I've needed to find a therapist. So, and I don't believe in coincidences. So I'm going to give them a call. They accept my insurance. I'm going to give them a call, see if they have any openings or see if I could get in to see somebody. So I can get back on that path again too, because I know I really need it. So that's it. That's a bunch of rambling stuff. Like I said, I don't want to say that I'm not coming back. I hope I do. I hope that I feel better in the next couple of weeks. You'll probably see a ton of finales in December if I do come back. I'm just going to start ending things. That way I can start fresh in January. Well, ending the things that need to be ended. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you again to those of you who reached out. I really do appreciate it. And it helps, calm that voice that says you don't matter, no one cares, no one loves you, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. Anyway, my battery is about to die, so I'm going to go. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate you, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye for now.